Hello everyone, it's CreepEvee back again this week with something very special and very spicy for you guys. Uh, I don't really know how this is gonna go. I've been wanting to do these for a while, and I don't know what you guys are gonna think, but I decided this would be the week to try it out. We're gonna try out the Throwback Standard leagues. We don't have a whole lot of time left in these, so I definitely wanted to get in these. If you don't know what they are, it's kind of been going through history, starting at the very old formats of Standard. Coming up now, we're in the Lorwyn block, I believe is where we're at now. At least is where it's focused. So essentially what it is it's going through different eras of Standard, and you get some of the more some of the strongest decks that are in that block from that Standard era, and you get to play with those. Now it is a phantom draft, so you don't get to keep it, and you do get a random deck. I think there's like 10 different ones that you can get. I did not get the one that I wanted, but we're gonna go with it. I was looking through the decks, and it's conveniently listed uh, on Magic the Gathering's website. If you want to look them up, they always have all of the decks listed. So I really wanted to get Doran Siege Tower, and also I wanted to get Merfolk, or maybe even Fairies or Kithkin. I really wanted to get the tribal decks, but unfortunately we did not get those. But we did get Cruel Control, I guess it's pretty pointless to show it to you guys here whenever we have it right here on MTGO. So these are 10 tickets apiece, or 100 play points. So it's a decent amount, but pretty fun to play in. I've played in one other one, and I can't remember which one it is. But they're really fun. You play 3 games, and then depending on how you do in those 3 games, that determines your prize payout. So we're going to see how well we can do. I'm going to try to get all 3 of those games on camera for you guys. So we might be a little bit late getting these out this week, but I think we'll have fun with it. So the reason why we have Cruel Control is because we're working off of Cruel Ultimatum being our most notable card. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, discards 3 cards, and then loses 5 life. You return a creature from your graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, and gain 5 life. So an incredibly strong card, but it is double Grixis to pay for it. So we're gonna have to work our way up there. And at best I can tell, this is 4 color, everything but green. Well, no, we do have Broodmate Dragon having green. So 5 colors. So we got might be a little bit weird to work with. I haven't looked over this deck a whole lot. I figured it'd be kind of fun to look at it while I'm talking to you guys. We do have a lot of powerful cards. That seems to be the theme here, is just all out power, no wasted spots. And we'll go over the side deck because it does come with a 15 card side deck. And I just noticed we have 61 cards, so I guess we can pick something to cut. Not sure what we will cut yet, but we'll try to figure that out. So we'll just go down the list. For some reason, I'm not getting the images for a lot of these cards, which is weird. But we'll still go over them. So Celestial Purge, 2-drop white, exile target black or red permanent. It does seem like there's a lot of black and red in this format, so might be good as a one-of. Wall of Reverence, Defender flying. At the beginning of your end step, you may gain life equal to the power of target creature you control. So if we've got some big hitters, which it looks like we do, that could pay off pretty quickly. Over into blue, we have 4 copies of one of the strongest blue cards ever printed, Cryptic Command. At least in recent memory. There are definitely some older blue cards, but as far as recent memory, this is a very, very tough card to deal with. So we've got 4 of those. That's actually nice that we have those. Muldrifter, we have 4 copies of Muldrifter. That's very strong. If you're a Pauper player like many of you guys are, then you're very familiar with Muldrifter. Broken Ambition, so 1 blue X, counter target spell unless its controller pays X, and then we clash. Okay, so not bad as a counter spell. Clash is kind of fun. So terror, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. So just one of those. So kind of an alternate to our Celestial Purge. Volcanic Fallout. Let's see here. Can't be countered. Deals 2 damage to each creature and each player. So not bad. Certainly not Wrath of God, but Anger of the Gods. Certainly not Anger of the Gods, but it is uncounterable, so pretty interesting. I'd still prefer to have Anger of the Gods, but not being countered is pretty nice. So Plumeveil, it is a 3-drop, 4 power, 4 toughness defender with flying and flash. That's not bad. You could definitely make a couple surprise kills with that, so I like that. Esper Charm, destroy target enchantment, draw 2 cards, target player discards 2 cards. So a good control spell. I like that. Our Cruel Ultimatum, we already went over that. Broodmate Dragon, an incredibly strong creature. It's just weird in this deck. It seems very out of place, but I'm not gonna knock it. So flying, when Broodmate Dragon enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. So not bad at all, but it is kind of expensive. 6-drop Jund, that's tough, but we're gonna make it work. Over into our land base. Well, before we go over the land base, we do have 1 artifact in the deck, Pithing Needle. I don't know how good that's going to be in this format, but in the main deck. We will quickly look over the other decks, but as far as that goes, I don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe when we look over the other decks, that'll make more sense. So pretty simple land base, Cascade Bluffs, Exotic Orchard, some islands, Mystic Gate, Reflecting Pool, Sunken Ruins, Vivid Crag, Vivid Creek, Vivid Marsh, Vivid Meadow. So this is the era of the tap 1 to get the 2 colors, tap for colorless lands. I don't know what the nickname for those are. So we do need to figure out something to cut out. We do have 27 lands in this deck, so there's room to go down 1. I don't exactly know how this works, because I'd imagine there would have been 14 cards on the sideboard. I don't know, kind of weird. Can we just play it like that? Apparently we can just play it like that. So we'll just play it like that, I guess. But let's look over the other decks really quickly. We'll start at the top, and we won't spend too much time on them, but just to get an idea of the meta, we have the Doran Siege Tower deck, so he's going to deal damage with their toughness instead of their power. So Kitchen Finks, just a good card. Goyf, so they have access to Goyf, that's tough. Birds, Landwar Elves for their mana dorks. Enters the battlefield, choose target face-up exiled card. Its opponent shuffles it back into its deck. That seems very, very meta-specific. Chameleon Colossus has all types, protection from black. So that might have... I'd imagine that is there for like some tribal shenanigans, but this deck doesn't really follow a tribe. Tribal instant, nameless inversion. Target creature gets +3, -3, loses all creature types. So it doesn't really synergize with it. It is a shapeshifter one, but 4 Thoughtseize. Okay. Kind of seems like that belongs in our deck, but Profane Command, that could be kind of tough to deal with. Slaughter Pact, that's scary. They do have a Manland. Urborg could be weird. They do have Pendlehaven. So that's weird. What is their side deck? Shriek Maw, Primal Command, Oblivion Ring, Wispmare, Bitter Blossom. That's wow. Okay, so that's kind of tough to deal with. So elves, they have Wild Speaker, World Druid, so pretty standard stuff. Reveal an elf card, or okay, so kind of a what are they called? That Merfolk card. We'll probably get to her in a second. Imperia is perfect. So a lord that produces some tokens. Civic Wayfinder. More Thought Seizes, more Profane Commands. Pendlehaven, Herborg Mutavault. They have access to Squall Line, Slaughter Pack, Primal Command, Shriek Maw, Kitchen Finks. So their deck really similar, just kind of switched out. So Merfolk, one of the decks that I really wanted. So Mirror Reader, Silvergill Adept, that's the one I was looking for. River Guide, Sword of Temptation. They do have Venser, okay, that's pretty nice. And of course, Lord of Atlantis. They have access to Ancestral Visions, that's pretty tough. Sage's Dowsing, counter target spell. If you control the wizard, draw a card, okay. Mutavault, Cryptic Commands, so we're not alone in having the Cryptic Commands. Sword of Temptation, Battleforge Tender, Sunlance, Serrated Arrows, Unsummon, Reveille Arc, and another Cryptic Command. Scred Red. That's great. I'm not super excited about that, but what can you do? What can you do? Magus of the Moon. I don't like that. That's the one. Turn all cards named. Okay, yeah, so that's one of the nastier ones that we're gonna have to deal with. Can't block. Figure of Destiny. Okay, it's kind of weird. Blood Knight and a Magus of the Scroll. Okay, so that's gonna be nasty to deal with. They have 2 Pithing Needles, 3 Sprite Bellows. I can't talk. Murderous Red Caps, Sulphurous Blast. Okay, so a lot of scary stuff there. Wall of Roots. So Teachings is an interesting deck. We have Coalition Relic. Wow. Pact Negation, Slaughter Pact, Condemn, Careful Consideration, Cryptic Ruin, Ruin Snag, and Mystical Teachings. Okay, so a lot of tough stuff. Deals 3 damage to each creature without flying. Okay. So Pyroclasm. Wow, that's strong. Platinum Angel, Una, Cloud Thresher, Maul Drifter, and Wall of Roots. Okay. So Pyroclasm, Squall Line, Expirate, Mind Shatter, Arcane of Justice, Crovax, Ruined Halo, Haunted Hem, Imp's Mischief, and another Pact of Negation. On to our Fairies deck. Bottlegnomes but Mistblind Click, Scion of Una, not of Ugin. Spell Scutter Sprite, the infamous infamous card that trips me up every time. Vendilion Click, more of that Ancestral Vision shenanigans, Terror, Pendlehavens, River Tears, Mutavault. So man lands are definitely going to be a thing that we have to deal with in this format. They do have 3 Damnations on the sideboard. Kithkins, this is one of the ones that I wanted to get. They do get a Johnny Vengeant in their deck, which was very interesting. It's something that our Pithing Needle would be good with. Pithing Needle is just not looking super strong to me. Spectral Possession. Ooh, they have 4 Path to Exiles. That's tough to deal with. Glory Anthem, Mutavaults. yeah, so that's gonna be tough to deal with. Uh, keep scrolling down too far. Oh boy, they have Elspeth in the side deck. Okay, Banefires. It's a lot of tough stuff. The black-white tokens deck. This is one that I'm worried about. Oh, they get Tide Hollow. Terror, the Swamps, Bitter Blossoms. 4 Bitter Blossoms in the main deck. Okay. They get Gold Mane. Why do I keep scrolling down? So they get Gold Mane, Head Games, Elspeth, Wispmere, Celestial Purge, Wrath of God. Okay. So this one scares me a lot. I think this is one of the stronger decks, but I could be wrong. Here's our Cruel Control deck. We already went over it. And Swans. I'm kind of jealous. I wanted this one too. So of course we have the Swans, Bloodbraid Elf, Captured Sunlight, Primal Command, Bituminous Blast, Ad Nauseum, Seismic Assault. So a very basic deck. If you're not familiar with Swans, if a source would deal damage to Swans of Brenagal, prevent all damage that source's controller draws cards equal to the damage prevented that way. And then you have Bituminous Blast, deals 4 damage to target creature. They're very based on using Cascade and blocking to keep yourself safe. And then, of course, that leads into some Ad Nauseum shenanigans and Seismic Assault. So it's basically a little bit different teched out Ad Nauseum. So a little bit different than the modern Ad Nauseum that we know today, but still a very dangerous deck to deal with. And on to the sideboard for them: Wrath of Gods, Countryside Crusher, Wickerburrow Elder, Vexing Musher, Maelstrom Pulse. Countryside Crusher. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it into the graveyard and repeat this process. Whenever a land is put into your graveyard from anywhere, put a 1/1 counter on Countryside Crusher. Okay. Very interesting. So this is going to be an little interesting game for me to play because overall I'm a relatively new player to the game. So dealing with these older standard formats is kind of risky for me, but they are very fun, and I love the history of Magic. So getting to be a part of that, as well as these are just fun to play. So let's get on into it, guys. Oh, quickly, let's go over our side deck because I forgot to do that. So now that we know the format, so legendary creature, flash, pay 1 life, return it back to our hand. Not precisely sure what that comes in against yet, but we'll figure that out. Infest, all creatures get -2/-2, so definitely against the black-white tokens. Scepter of Fuge. Let's go with Fuge. Target player discards a card, activate this ability only during your turn. Okay, so several decks that don't want to get cards discarded. Merfolk might, this might be strong against them. 2 negates, remove soul, the counter, as our counter magic, Wrath of God, Wispmere, and Celestial Purge. Okay, so a lot of standard stuff. Still trying to figure this one out, but I'm sure we'll find out as we play. So that is the deck, guys. That is the format that we're dealing with. So this is, I think it said that this is early 2000s. So if you were around playing that, then a lot of very cool things. Well, no, alright, so Onslaught successfully expanded on this theme in the early 2000s. During the era of Standard, Lorwyn broke the floodgates. Swarms became a big part of Standard for the next 2 years. So swarming decks with tribal creatures, that sounds right up my alley. But without further ado, I'm going to jump over into the game, guys. I hope you enjoy this series. Maybe we could do more in the future if you guys like them. but we'll see how much I enjoy them whenever we get into the game. Alright guys, we've got our first game. Rafflecopter 68 is our opponent. Let's take a look at our hand here. Vivid Creek. I think we can try for this. Like I said, this is going to be kind of a learning experience for me. I wish that I could have a few games to try these out first. But we only get 3 games, and that's pretty much how much I like to play for these shows. So a Soul Catcher. So we're going to have to play around that. We don't have anything that we can cast for 1, so I think a Vivid Creek is a good place to start for our tap land. And we will pass the turn. Interesting factoid about the name Rafflecopter. My handle for a very long time. Okay, so Silvergill revealed. My handle for a long time online was Rafflecopter Gunna. Because I watched a lot of Arby and the Chief, and so if you've watched that, you know the origin of Rafflecopter. Really great series. I went back and watched it again. It holds up. So it taps for blue, yeah, and we can remove 1 to tap or anything. So still nothing for us to do yet. So we'll play a Sunken Ruins. It's the dangerous part about keeping this hand, but pretty much everything in our deck is high cost. So not a whole lot that we could say we could do otherwise. That Lord of Atlantis is looming over us. We're going to have to get something going with that. So everything has Island Walk. We don't have an island out yet, so I think we're going to hold off playing one. So Celestial Purge. We are not going to see any black or red from our opponent, I do not believe. So we're going to avoid playing the island. We can flash in a Plume Veil and try to knock out something that our opponent has. That Island Walk won't be able to save them right now, so I think that this might be able to help us out a good bit. So let's tap for blue. So we'll tap blue here, and I guess we'll just make double blue from that. Could just tap, well yeah, we would need to tap, we couldn't tap for colors. So then we will cast Plume Veil, and we are going to definitely block that Lord of Atlantis. Now the question is, will this get countered? At least we do have another one in hand, but we're going to take a lot of damage here if we don't get a blocker out. It looks like that is going to get countered. So we're not going to be able to pay that extra 3. So we are going to take this big damage here, but at least we do have another one that we can try for next turn. I think that's just about our only option. Definitely don't want to play that island yet. We do have Cryptic Command available to us. So tap all creatures our opponent controls, draw a card. So we get to choose a 2. So we could do the tap all. I feel better about the tap all. So let's go to our opponent's turn. I think that might be how we attempt to save ourselves. I think that is our safest option. So let's go ahead now. Tap for blue, tap for double blue, tap for blue, tap for blue, and cast Cryptic Command. And we will tap all creatures our opponent controls. Oh, okay, I see how this is working. So we'll tap all and draw a card. It's just having the different combinations to select. It looks like this is going to get countered though. Yeah, so he's going to bounce the spell off of the stack, and we are going to lose. use here. So that closes out the game for us. Well, yeah, that's lethal. So we'll go to sideboarding. So Infest kills off most things that he has. The Scepter is good here. The negates are kinda good. So what do we go down on? The Celestial Purge for sure. I kinda like a Wrath of God here as well. Just depending on what all we can manage to cut. Terror works okay. Volcanic Fallout is definitely our friend in this matchup. Nothing that Pithing Needle does anything with that I can think of. So we could go down one more card. Does Esper Charm do something for us? It doesn't destroy an enchantment, but it's still good for the discard and draw card effect. Broken Ambitions is still good. Yeah, because it's any spell, not just a non-creature. I think we'll just do 2 Infests. Because Wrath of God, well... Ah, man. I really don't know what to go down here. I think we can cut 1 Esper Charm and go up a Wrath of God. I may regret that, but we'll see. Alright, so who's going to play first? We're going to play first. Man, I really like the Volcanic Fallout. I think we're going to keep it. If nothing else for that. So let's put a Vivid Crag into play and pass the turn. But yeah, my handle was Rafflecopter Gunna because I liked Arby and the Chief, as well as that my favorite. This is so meta. My favorite, what did they call them? Kill streak in Modern Warfare 2 was the Chopper Gunner. And I loved Modern Warfare 2. I still do. So we're going to take that 1 from Curse Catcher. Curse Catcher can counter a lot of things, especially that Volcanic Fallout that we want to play. Let's... Oh, I just realized Volcanic Fallout is an instant. That's actually pretty spicy. So Curse Catcher is going to be able to shut off at least one of them. So this can tap for anything because of the fact that... Or yeah, so any land... So because our Vivid Crags and Vivid Creeks can produce any color technically, our Refracting Pool can as well. So it's one of the spicy things about it. So we could cast one on his turn. If he plays like a Lord, we could cast it to bait out the counter and force him to counter it. And then next turn we would have access to playing it as well as being able to force through one of the Curse Catchers. Marrow Reaver. So like I said, a Lord. So I think we need to attempt to cast it here. Let's see. Just putting pressure on our opponent so that he can't get us for 2 in 1 turn. if that makes sense. Oh, it can't be countered. I completely forgot about that. Okay, then yeah. Go get him, Volcanic Fallout. Now the best card in our deck. Do we want to keep it? Oh, let's put the Exotic Orchard into play so that we can keep open mana for Cryptic Command. And I might use it to draw some cards here. I do want to counter something with it so I have an excuse to draw some cards. So yeah, he's going for the Mutavault. If he goes for a second one, I'm gonna, yeah. So I'm gonna tap everything down now and draw 2 cards. I wanted an excuse to draw some cards. So this will tap for blue, this can tap for blue, this can tap for blue, and this can tap for red. So we don't have to take any counters off of anything. So tap all creatures, draw a card. So we are really slowing our opponent down, if nothing else, in this game, which we failed to do last game at all. I guess doing Volcanic Fallout also could have been very good to just go ahead and get rid of them, but I wanted to draw some cards. Really, if we're just going to get down to the short and skinny of it, I wanted to draw some cards. So let's go ahead and pass, and if he goes for those Mutavaults again, we'll go ahead and Volcanic Fallout. Part of the reason why I didn't do it also is because I want to save it to kill like a Lord. So our opponent chooses to do nothing, so I'm assuming he's keeping mana open for something like a counterspell. Let's put a Reflecting Pool. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can actually cast Cruel Ultimatum. But I feel very strongly that he has a counterspell, or else he would have used his Mutavaults. So maybe we can do something else like the Esper Charm to try to force out a counter. And then open ourselves up to where we can use our Cruel Ultimatum. We don't have a creature to get back with Cruel Ultimatum, which is kind of a bummer. So our opponent, they're definitely holding something open. So we could force them to discard 2 cards. Let's wait until the end step and do that. So we're gonna take the 2 here. We've got some life that we can take the 2. This is just a very weird back and forth battle here. So let's tap for black, tap for blue, tap for white, cast Esper Charm, and we're going to force our opponent to discard 2 cards here. And we'll see how that goes. So yeah, the Sage's Dowsing comes down. We can actually pay the 3 for it. He does get to draw a card because of it, though. I think that may be more of what he's going for there, because Mutavault is all creature types. So he does get to draw a card, but he's still going to have to discard 2 unless he has something like Pact Negation. Let's see what we get rid of. Earthly Arc and a Silvergill Adept, so not bad. So our opponent is tapped down now, so I think now is the time to do this. So tap for blue there, and then tap for black and red. Cast Cruel Ultimatum. Did I not do that right? Oh yeah, it has to be 3 black because it's weird. So yeah, we'll have to undo all of that. I forgot that it's 1 extra there. Well, that's a bummer. Well, on to the next one, as they say. I don't know, that's kind of a bummer. What's our opponent going for here? A Revliarch. I don't think we want our opponent to have that. That is potential for a lot of advantage. Yeah. That's just a potential advantage there, and we never like that. So we're gonna counter target spell, draw a card. We are doing a pretty efficient job at controlling our opponent, which is what this deck is supposed to do. So, draw a tap land. I think we want to cast this Mole Drifter and go ahead and cast it for its full cost. Add blue, add blue, add black. It's 5 drop, right? Okay. And then a white for variety's sake, and we'll cast it. I never like evoking a Mole Drifter. I like getting a creature out, especially now because we're struggling to do damage to our opponent for sure. So what do we play here? I think we want to play the Vivid Crag and pass turn. At least next turn we can Cruel Ultimatum if we feel like our opponent can't counter it. So it comes in tapped, so our opponent either doesn't have a Merfolk or doesn't want us to know that they have a Merfolk. It's a lot of untapped land. I really want to cast Cruel Ultimatum, but I really don't want to risk it. I think we're going to hold open an Esper Charm, so that next turn we can just make sure that our opponent absolutely doesn't have anything. We could actually play the Esper Charm now, because they only have 2 cards in hand. So let's do that actually. Yeah, let's do that. So our opponent will only have 1 card in hand to work with next turn. So we discard 2 Cryptic Commands. Jeez, that's rough. I mean, great for us, for sure, but we can actually cast our Cryptic Command this turn, but... Okay, so we really shut off our opponent. We did what this deck is supposed to do, so happy with how that went. I don't know, I feel like our side deck did what it needed to do. I think I am actually going to go down on that Wrath of God and go back up the Esper Charm. I feel like the Esper Charm put in a lot more work. So I assume our opponent is going to be going first. This hand has some control potential, so I'm going to keep it. I really like the synergy between Vivid Crag and Reflecting Pool, or whichever one it is. I can never remember, but the one that's whatever our cards can tap for. So it reveals Curse Catcher, down comes Curse Catcher. Us shutting down the Curse Catchers is really what did the damage last game. Mutavault for opponent. Curse Catcher deals 1 to us. There's our Cruel Ultimatum. We've not gotten to resolve a Cruel Ultimatum yet, have we? We gotta change that, guys. We can't have that. We can't get double black out of our Sunken Ruins, so our Infest is able to be cast without sacrificing a counter. We have not had to take a counter off of our Vivid lands yet. Mystic Gate. Let's play Sunken Ruins so that we can flash in a Plume Veil. I think that's a good play for us. He definitely has a counterspell because he didn't go for the Mutavault. So I think I'm willing to take one here instead of dealing with a counterspell. This just seems to be a very counter-heavy format right now. So our opponent starts out with Venser. I'm assuming they're going to try to bounce one of our lands. I mean, pretty obviously they're going to bounce one of our lands. We could... I think we're just going to have to let that happen. We could respond and play Plume Veil, but it really doesn't do much for us. We'll just kind of bluff here. Actually, let's really bluff here and remove a charge counter and add blue. There's really no point in bluffing because there's... Well, I guess we could do this now. We could go ahead and put the Plume Veil into play. But once again, we could get it countered, and I don't want to get it countered. So there's our Volcanic Fallout. I want to play an untapped land here, so that we still have access to our 3-drop cards, because we have a few of them. We do have to discard hand size here. I'm going to discard our Vivid Creek. So I don't know what we want to do here. I wish we actually had a counterspell. Silvergill Adept comes down, revealing Marrow Rajiri. I wish he would go ahead and cast it because I would feel a lot more comfortable going for the Volcanic Fallout. So I think what we're going to do is... I don't know what we're going to do. Part of me wants to cast this Volcanic Fallout. I think that's what we're going to do. We are going to have to take a charge counter off here. And that is going to be uncounterable, so we can get rid of the Curse Catcher. The Curse Catcher is just creating a lot of problems for us right now. So the Rejeri comes down. Let's put the Vivid Crag into play and hold open the... Do I want to do that, or do I want to just go ahead and cast this guy? Let's go ahead and get him out while we don't have any blockers to worry about. Well, I mean, counters to worry about. Because I really want to get this guy out. Oh, is he a 4-drop? Yeah, he's a 4-drop. My bad. I swear I'm good at this game. this game. I just don't play this game enough. At least not this particular format. So Mutavault, we can still cast this Plume Veil when he goes to attack. And I think we'll go ahead and block the Lord. I do like whenever we can block lands and kill the lands, but I think we're better off just killing the Lord. So we do see the counter. We're not going to be able to pay for that. Our opponent will get to draw there. So that is unfortunate. That is a lot of damage. So the Tide Shaper Mystic comes down, and what does he do again? He's untap target permanent. Tap or untap target permanent. Okay. Well, the Cryptic Command will help us out a lot. Infest. Infest does a lot. Let's do this. I think we do want to play the Infest. Trying to think of what he can counter us with. Yeah. So we're good there. So the Infest helps us out a lot. Play our Vivid Marsh pass turn. So now he can still swing a 2/2 Mutavault at us. He only has 2 cards in hand currently. So another Reejerey comes down. And another 3/3 Mutavault hits us. And we go down to 5. We're in very dangerous shape, especially against such a fast, aggressive deck here. This helps. That helps a lot. I'm pretty sure we can play that. The Mystic Gate out. Yeah, let's cast him. I think that seems like our spiciest option. Green. Broodmate Dragon. I do like the counter spells and everything, but really his only removal, well, I guess he could have Cryptic Command to tap us down. I was going to say his only removal is going to be a complete board wipe, but he could Cryptic Command and tap us down and swing in. And he still would have mana to use Mana Vault. How many Cryptic Commands has he gone through? None. He has 2 cards in hand. Should have thought about that. And kept open Cryptic Command. Reveals him. Cast Reejerey. That allows him to tap Broodmate. I also did not think about that. So now he has a 3/3. He can untap a 4/4. Well, not untap, but make a 4/4. He does choose to do that. Assuming he's going to hold the Reejerey. Unless, of course, he has something to... Well, he has no cards in hand. I think we are going to block this. Partially because I don't want to get hit for that amount. I do hate losing a dragon like that, but... I was hoping we would draw another land. Fortunately, we did not. So it's end step. So we can gain 4 on our end step and we'd go back to 9. So I think that is what we're going to do. So let's tap blue here, get double white out of that. Tap for colorless and a black. Cast Ball of Reverence. And we technically do have a counter spell out. So do we attack here? I don't think we attack. As much as I want to. So we'll put Wall of Reverence on stack, targeting Broodmate. Go up to 9. I think this is our best chance of winning. Just to keep gaining life. Lord of Atlantis comes down. He can tap 2 things. If you win that. Okay, so targeting our Broodmate. So this won't win us the game, but let's just clash with our opponent. This definitely will not win us the game at all. Just see if we win the clash. I reveal Mole Drifter, he reveals Cryptic Command. We win the clash. We will put Mole Drifter on the bottom. So, what did we mill? A few things. All of Revelance gets tapped, and we take 8 here. Oh, we're not dead, actually. I forgot that we got up to 9. I was thinking we were at 8. Okay, well, we're still in this, guys. Dylan just can't count. Or I guess CreepEvee, I don't want him to reveal the facade. Pretty sure I put Dylan in the description every week, so I'm pretty sure you guys know who I am at this point. Plus, I don't really care. I don't think you guys are gonna dox me or come after me or whatever. I hope you guys don't, at least. You guys have been pretty chill so far, so I don't think you guys will. We'll go up to 5. We're definitely in a tight spot. We might just need to tap our opponent's creatures down. I don't really want to do that. He has no cards in hand. I doubt he's going to swing here. So I'm not going to do that. Because if he swings, he's pretty much putting himself out of the game. So we have access to Plume Veil if he does attack. But I think we're going to pass here and gain some life. If we cast Cruel Ultimatum, we're not getting a whole lot of value out of it because he doesn't have a hand. As well as the fact that we will be tapping ourselves down completely. And I much prefer to keep open a counterspell here. So he can untap Mutavault. And swing at us. So tap all creatures we control. On the other hand, which one did he go with? And draw a card. We're going to respond to that. He has no cards in hand to respond to us. going to go ahead and just... We'll do it like that. So we'll go to 4, cast our own cryptic command. There's really no reason for us to counter his. I think we're going to tap all of his creatures and draw a card. He does not have a way to counter that. So we're just going to copycat our opponent. And I think we're actually going to flash in Plume Veil. We have to go... Oh yeah, we're going to have to actually. Or need to very much. Our opponent has Island Walk, so we don't have to worry about that yet. We do need to keep that in mind, though. I don't want to accidentally do that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have to get rid of 2 things to do that, which is unfortunate, but I don't think we're going to need them too much here. I think at this point, our timer is kind of our biggest threat right now, because in talking to you lovely people as much as I do, sometimes I get a little bit behind on time. Okay, so I want to keep open a counterspell, but we don't have a counterspell. So that'll be our blue mana. This can be our black mana. Red. We got another black and another red. Cast Cruel Ultimatum. So it is going to hurt him to have to sacrifice a creature. He's going to make Mutavault. I guess he's going to sacrifice Mutavault instead so he doesn't have to lose a Lord, which I think that's a smart play. We're going to get back a Plume Veil. We do get a Mole Drifter. We get 2 islands that I very much do not want to play. So I think we're still going to have to pass. Gosh, I'm really worried about our timer right now. Kind of wish we wouldn't have played that counterspell needlessly also. But we got to see if we won the clash, which is cool. We're going to use the ability there, gain some life. We have a land that can only tap for colorless. We are getting close to the point to where we can win. So he's going to be able to tap us down here. The Reejerey is becoming a serious problem, and we need a board wipe to deal with that. So we are going to go down to 2 here. So all of that wonderful life gain that we've been doing is slowly becoming erased. So I want to cast the Mole Drifter outright, as much as that makes me nervous. Because I don't like tapping out right now. Or tapping as much as I am right now, I should say. We need to dig to a counterspell. Well, not a counterspell, but a board wipe. That isn't a board wipe. We do have our Plume Veil to work with. He can counter it. I shouldn't say counter it. He can make it to where we will have to pay 1. We can't afford to swing out right now because of how much damage we took last turn. We do have the ability to flash in Plume Veil, which is pretty spicy if he starts tapping things down. What do we see here? Sig. So he can give his creatures protection, and he can tap our things down. So all he has to do is give them protection from blue and white, and even if we cast the Plume Veil, we still cannot do anything about that. But he can only do that to target one. So let's produce a black, make double blue, make blue, cast Plume Veil. Gosh, Plume Veil, why do you have to involve so much clicking? We're low on time. So Sig can give 2 of them, so we can at least stop one of the lords. But that means that he gets in for 16, I think. The biggest thing is that he can choose to do that after we declare blockers. So he gives those 2 protection, and he gets in for 16. So we did not lose the timer, we lost to our opponent. We cannot blame the timer. Or no, we did not lose. I guess he didn't give protection to that one? Not sure why our opponent did not do that. So we can tap everything our opponent has next turn, which means that I want to swing. So can I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yes, we can cast a Broodmate Dragon if we hurry up. Oh, that should have been for green. And then just tap, 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 cast. Go to declare attackers. Attack with Broodmate. Do 4. Are we going to lose to time? I'm going to cut the tension and say yes. Actually, oh my god, can we stop? Oh my god, we do lose. Because I didn't play the other land. Oh, and I only gained us 1 life there. Oh no, I did click the right one. Okay. Oh boy. I did not play the island, and therefore we cannot cast Cryptic Command. So I am fairly positive that our opponent wins here. Even if I did play the island, I don't think that we actually had time. But man, if we had time, we could have tapped our opponent down and then swung in again, and that would have been game. Let's see what he pays for. Maybe we're just... I'd like for him to play something that makes us dead no matter what. He does not. Oh man, guys. We'll just pretend to block. We can't. Well, guys, we were close. We were very close. He tapped down, which means that he could not have countered our... Well, let's see. Does his deck... Teachings, Merfolk. Does his deck play... No, he does not have a free counterspell. So we would have... He didn't have mana to counter anything. We could have played our Cryptic Command, tapped everything down so he couldn't have attacked us, and then swung in and killed him. So time got us again, guys. It has gotten us before on this show. Oh man, that's I'm not a big fan of that. I wish that we had a little bit more time, but sometimes I get up a little bit distracted talking to you people, but I don't care. I love you people more than I love winning. Uh, it's a it's close. It's close on that, but I do love you guys a little bit more. So I hope you guys can forgive me for timing out. Uh, let's just pretend that I didn't and go on how I explained that I would win. But that is our game for today, guys. I'm a little bit on tilt, but I'm gonna see you guys on Sunday for the last two games in this league. So make sure you tune back in. Make sure you subscribe so that you can always see those videos, including all the other fantastic videos that we have on the channel from all of our other content creators. I hope that you guys enjoyed despite all of this. Let me know in the comments what you think. Be sure to scold me for messing up. Uh, but tell me, guys, are you guys playing in the league? If you are, how are you liking it so far? What decks did you get? It's not too late to join the league, so make sure you do come down, have some fun with me and the other people that are in this league. I really do enjoy these decks. I think they're very nice to and cool to play with, and I really do enjoy these throwbacks. So let me know what you guys think. I I am on tilt, but let me know if you guys are playing and what decks you got, and how you feel about this particular one. Have you played in other throwbacks? So tell me what you guys think about these. Maybe I can get in on the next throwback as well. But enough ranting and chilling for today. I will see you guys in the next video.